So when I got the date for my first bone marrow transplant, my doctor told me point blank that I had about a 35% chance of surviving it. And I had about a month and a half before I was going to undergo that transplant. And so that sense of finitude came crashing down on me. And I realized that there were lots of things that I wanted to do that I might not be able to do. But writing had always been this great love of mine. And I decided I was going to take the contents of this journal and turn them into essays. And so I started a WordPress blog from my hospital room. I watched YouTube videos on how to build it. It was pretty, basic stuff. And I'm sure that in that first week, my readership consisted of solely my parents and my grandmother. Mm-hmm. But I took it really seriously. I would write every single day. And it felt really good to have a job to do other than just being a patient. And it was that sense of agency that I've been craving for a long time. And about 2 or 3 weeks into writing that blog, it started to get passed around and shared. And I got an email from an editor at the New York Times and later a phone call in which she asked me if I might be interested in writing an essay for the paper. And I thanked her and said I wasn't interested in writing an essay. And then I took a deep breath and I told her that what I really wanted to do was to write a weekly column from the trenches of treatment, because so often illness narratives were written from the perspective and vantage point of someone who survived. And it was a very different experience to write from that place of not knowing, that place of deep uncertainty. I am in a different kind of liminal space now. I'm in a different kind of in-between place. I will be in treatment indefinitely for however long or short that might be. And when I got that news from my doctor, he said to me, you have to live every day as if it's your last, which is the kind of thing that you say to someone when they're in that sort of limbo. And, I tried hard to figure out what that meant for me, but more specifically, why it instilled an intense sense of panic in me. And I realized, when you're trying to live every day as if it's your last, you're thinking about how you can wring as much out of life, how you can seize the day, and it puts you in this space of urgency and taking. And I've come to believe that as well-intentioned as that advice might be, it's terrible advice. Because if we were all to live every day as if it were our last, we'd be robbing banks and, I don't know, cheating on our spouses.
And staring at trees or
eating ungodly amounts of ice cream. And so instead, as I navigate this new level of uncertainty, which of course, we all have, none of us know,
it's just more
what the future is going
and acute for
to look like. And life is a finite condition for all of us. I've shifted to a place of trying to live every day as if it's my first, which is to say, waking up with a sense of curiosity and wonder that a newborn baby might. And rather than seeking out these huge, important life moments, seeking out moments of play and tiny little joys and moments of nourishment. And that has made it such that I feel like I'm moving through this uncertainty in a way that doesn't put me in panic, but places me in a state of wonder and awe and generosity. We are so steeped in binary thinking, but the truth is most of us aren't either happy or sad or healthy or well. border between those binaries is porous, and much of us are forced to live in synthesis, to exist in that messy middle. You know, I think we often think of healing as ridding ourselves of the pain that plagues us, whatever that pain might be. And I have tried to do that in every number of ways, from numbing it to compartmentalizing it to dodging it to stowing it as far down as I can. But the only way that I've been able to endure these various things that have happened is by engaging with that pain and looking it directly in the eye, and, observing it the way you might through the lens of a kaleidoscope, where you shift the prism and the light falls in a different way.